Good morning, good afternoon, good evening internet, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Economical Rides. Well, here you can see Buddy looking awesome. He's had his cases fitted, and when we went in for the 18-month inspection, we also got the bar end mirrors, the Royal Enfield ones, which you can see here. They were my present to Buddy, my Christmas present to Buddy. Unfortunately, the dealer made a right hash of fitting them. They didn't realise they needed a fitting kit, so they've removed the spacer, and then they've just used the friction ring to clamp it down. Basically, on a Meteor you leave the spacer in situ, and there's a centerpiece for the mirror which goes inside the mirror, and then you push it all up flush and bolt through the middle. So they're going to get the fitting kit for me and sort this mess out, hopefully. But anyway, the purpose of today's video is, so obviously one downside of having the bar end mirrors fitted, whether they're fitted correctly or incorrectly, doesn't really matter. One aspect that's a bit of a pain is you then have these mirror holes left open. One there, one there. So now we're going to have to get some blanking plugs. So I was going to buy some, but I'm a bit tight. I think I can make some. So let's see how that works out. Right, so having established that I now need some mirror hole bungs, I did consider buying some, but the ones that I found, they were about 10 to 15 euros. And I thought, I'm tight, maybe I can save that money. I do have a 3D printer. So I was about to draw up in CAD some mirror bungs for myself. They're M10 bungs that we need here. But then I found this site, this model on Thingiverse, which is a site for 3D models, for 3D printing. And somebody's posted this universal M10 mirror bung, available in left hand and right hand threaded versions, which is exactly what we need. So I thought I'd have a quick look at this just to check it out. So this is the model. So I downloaded this model and I prepared it for 3D printing, which is the next step that I will show you. Right, so here we are preparing the 3D models for printing. We do this in a software called a slicer. I'm using Ultimaker Cura for this job. So here are the two bungs on the print bed, and here you set various options. For instance, here we've set the temperature for the extrusion to 205 degrees Celsius and the bed temperature, which just helps the models adhere to the bed during printing. We set that to 60 degrees. And the only other interesting variable that you could maybe play with is the infill. Originally the infill would have been 70%. I've gone for 80%, so basically that's just how solidly filled is the object. 100% would be completely solid and would take forever to print. 80% is a little bit more solid than 70%, and I figured, yeah, the more strength I can get into these parts, the better. This is the preparation for printing, and this would then be sliced, and that produces a file which can then be loaded into the printer and printed off. And here you can see a preview of how they will be printed. So this is the last layer, and if we go down here we can show how each layer will be printed. So this software basically just tells the printer head where to go and the extruder how much plastic to push through to come up with the finished product, which will be hopefully two opposite threaded M10 mirror bungs. So let's go. So, and as you can see here, I've done a little time lapse for you of the bungs being printed. Now here I am using a yellow filament, one which I believe should give a reasonable match to the fireball yellow of Buddy, and I thought it might be nice to just have some yellow accent on the handlebars, which then hopefully these will be once fitted. So here I am using a special PLA. It's the first time I've used it. It's PLA 870, and it's quite an interesting material because it's basically supposed to have the properties of ABS, but the ease of printing of normal PLA. Most 3D printers cope very well with printing PLA, but PLA is not a terribly strong plastic, and it suffers in UV light and it degrades over time. It's extremely biodegradable. So normally if you were going to print something for strength or to last a long time out in the elements, you would use ABS, which is obviously a plastic that's used in industry for injection molding. And the problem is, although this printer will print ABS, and I have printed ABS, you need very high temperatures, and as soon as the print starts to get any kind of a height to it, the different cooling rates of the plastic after printing causes the print to warp and change shape. So I've been able to print silly figures in ABS, but I haven't really been able to print anything with precision, and obviously with these threads we're going to need to print with precision. So this was my first attempt using PLA 870, and yeah, I must say the plastic, when it's finished printing, it does actually feel like ABS, but it printed absolutely fine. I had no issues printing this at all, and as you can see here, the printer's doing a great job, and in a minute I shall show you the finished bungs. Right, so there we go. That print worked well. So these are my mirror blanking plugs. So now we just need to get them off the bed and go and see if they'll fit into the holes in the handlebar. Right, so we've successfully 3D printed our blanking plugs. Now it's time to see if we can get them to thread in. So let's have a go. I think this is the right hand threaded bung. Seems to be going in nicely. Get it down all the way if we can, nice and flush. Don't know if you can see that, but that's good. Now let's see if the left hand threaded one's going to work as well. Get it started. We should be good. Here we go, we're in. Again, all the way down, nice and flush. So there you go. You can 3D print parts for a Royal Enfield Meteor 350. I am living proof of that. So let's have a look how it looks now. This is Buddy with his bar ends. And this is Buddy with his two yellow blanking plugs. I'd say that's pretty good. But if I get tired of them, I can always print them in any other colour I like. I've got plenty of different filaments. So yeah, that's got me thinking now, what else can I print for Buddy? But for now, I have 3 cheap blanking plugs which do the job. Excellent. Just another look at Buddy in his final state. Well, apart from the fact that the mirrors need to be fitted properly. But yeah, I think he's looking very good now. I'd say he's perfect. And over there, there's a little girl who's been helping. And because she's been helping, she probably deserves a sausage. So we better sort that out now. So Ruby, my advanced sausage logistics tell me that these are Dan and Valentino's sausages. So this is Dan Rademski and his doggy Valentino. They bought you these sausages. So are you ready? Silly question. Of course you're ready. Sausage time. Was that nice? Sausages. Thank you, Dan and Valentino. Thank you. Good girl.